MC Delite with the legendary Sonic talking all that jazz.
Yeah, the original hip hop band. Don't forget that. You know,
yes,
the original hip hop.
Original hip hop band.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And so that was a fantastic. Talk about self-destruction too.
Oh yeah.
We got to talk about.
Pop, pop, pop. Want to shout who's to blame? Headline, front page, raps the name. You know what time it is. The bottom line. Black on black crime was way before our time. But yeah, this was something that I can definitely be proud of when we talk about self-destruction. One of our comrades passed away. He was DJ, of course, with BDP, which is KRS-One. Actually, me and Scott LaRock, the brother that did pass away, we was kind of tight because back in my hood, at that time I was living in Queens, he used to come down there. I had known him. He used to come down there and we used to play ball together. We didn't know that years down the line we would be involved in the same music genre, hip hop, that when we ran into each other again. But I used to play ball with him up in Parkchester in the Bronx, and he used to come down in south side of Queens and play ball with me, you know what I'm saying? And, that was during my hoop days, No, I had skills, trust me. I'll let you know that. But this album right here, Self-Destruction, Stop the Violence Movement, because of the death of Scott LaRock, it's something that we rappers had gotten, all together, and we say, hey, let's do something, let's make some noise, let people know that, hey man, we gotta change and change for the better, you know what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about.
How'd you feel when All in the Same Gang came out afterwards?
Oh man, All in the Gang, well, a continuation on the West Coast, of course we know. But bottom line, hey, it's something that, when you are doing music, sometimes you have to take some responsibility, and as far as lyrics, and as well as where you're directing your music to and how it affects people. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most important thing.
It was. You ever think something like this could, I know people try to do something similar nowadays. It never quite worked. Why do you think it's harder for something like this to work now versus then?
I think as a world, a nation, I think as we are going on, we've become more individualistic, and sometimes that involves ego, We're all people, you know what I'm saying? We're all human beings, but unless you understand that when I see you, I see myself, unless you really understand what that really means, then you're going to be way off par, way off base, and that's why sometimes it's harder to do because everybody's caught up in their individual, career and stuff like that. This was cool because during our era it was a little bit more conscious, you know what I'm saying? You had to, you still had the crack epidemic, you know what I'm saying, that was going on. So there was a lot of concern in the community and so forth and so on. So we just needed to do something. We needed to say something, you know what I'm saying? And this is one of the records that did say something for a lot of people. I love performing this record.
What about talking all that jazz?
Oh man, well.
Because I know we had a little something with Mtume.
Oh yeah, well that's a little story. And Mtume didn't. You're always going to get feedback when you have a new music genre come around and stuff like that, whether it's jazz, R&B, or whatever the case may be. But bottom line, Mtume had said some things over the radio. And we didn't like it. We was doing a radio interview. We tried to counteract, what was being said, but we decided to do it on record. You know what I'm saying? And so, for people that don't know, Talking on Our Jazz was done with a jazz type of feel. So that's when, pretty much the first. I don't know. You correct me if I'm wrong, but that is the first hip hop jazz record.
Why I think it became such a big hit, man.
Right.
That was just a massive.
Yeah. And bottom line, we wanted to let him know that, what we do as hip hop artists, even if we sample, you know, your stuff, that is us acknowledgement of you. You know what I'm saying? As the lyrics say, James Brown would be old if Eric and Ra didn't do I Got Soul. You know what I'm saying? So the bottom line is that it keeps the spirit of the music alive from generation to generation, and that's what it's all about. Yeah.